Welcome back to a special edition of the Cord Cutting Today show. Instead of just looking back at the past 24 hours, we're going to dive in and look at the whole year of 2023 and break out some of the biggest stories that will have the biggest long-term impact, I think, on cord cutting going forward. Stories like the growth of cord cutting 2.0, the death of a growing number of cable TV companies, and how local TV stations want to turn streaming into cable TV, at least in the eyes of the FCC. We're going to be talking about these stories and a whole lot more here and give you my opinion on them, why these stories from 2023 are so important, and how they'll impact cord cutting going forward in 2024. First though, if you want to learn more about these stories, I will put a link to them all in the show notes down below and in the first pinned comment. Also, if you're new here, do me a big favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, let YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. It's a huge help. It really does help us grow. So with that said, let's dive into the stories, starting off today with the growth of the death of cable TV. Now, just in the last few weeks from when I'm recording this, 4 cable TV companies have either announced plans to shut down TV in 2024 or suddenly went out of business. It's just increasingly becoming unprofitable. For example, you can see Mid-Rivers Communication. They announced that they're going to shut down, actually December 31st this week will be shutting down. And with that, they say just 10% of their customers are using TV. We had a company up in Alaska that said about 20% of their customers are, only 20% of their customers have TV, so they're shutting it down. City of Baltimore said something similar, that only about 20% of their residents are paying cable TV franchise fees. This seems to make it pretty clear that the vast majority of Americans are not paying for cable TV. So far, the shutdowns have been pretty much limited to small cable TV companies. We've had a few mid-sized ones like WOW this year announced that they will stop selling their TV service and instead start offering YouTube TV to replace it. Will that trend come to fruition in 2024 to bigger companies? I don't know. I will tell you this, I do expect more small and mid-sized cable TV companies to walk away from cable TV and focus on internet and phone only. I think that trend is going to become more and more popular. Do I think we are getting closer and closer to maybe one of the top 5 doing that? It's entirely possible, but I think 2024 might be a bit early for that. I think we may see more of the maybe the top 5 through 10 do it, and a lot of the other smaller cable TV companies. There are still a good number of very small regional cable TV companies, and it's just not becoming financially viable for most of them to continue to offer television in the day of age of streaming, and when they're competing with, let's be honest, even satellite. It's a competition to them still. So we'll keep a close eye on that, but look for that trend to continue. I really do think it's going to continue to impact cord cutting in the years to come. All right, let's talk about cord cutting 2.0 because that really took off in 2023. I think it's just the tip of the iceberg. Now, cord cutting 2.0 is this idea that cord cutting 1.0 was TV, right? We canceled Comcast TV or Spectrum TV and went streaming. But now people are increasingly turning their eyes to Comcast and Spectrum Internet and saying that they want to break 100% free from their old cable company. They're moving to new internet options. Could be satellite from like SpaceX, 5G from T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, and others, fiber options, and a whole lot of others. It used to be a few years ago you had 1 or 2 internet options that were true broadband, and that was it. You were pretty lucky. Nowadays, it's not unusual to get 5 or 6 options. I have a couple 5G home internet services, fiber, cable, SpaceX Starlink. More on the way. Amazon promises in 2024 to start testing their satellite internet service. We'll see how this plays out, but cord cutting 2.0 is here. I think it's going to only generate speed. In the fourth quarter, it's expected both Comcast and Spectrum will lose broadband subscribers. There's a growing trend of many internet cable providers losing subscribers as people look for cheaper internet options. They may not be right for everybody, but a lot of people aren't video gamers. If you're only streaming Netflix, you're only checking your Facebook, your email, you don't need a ton of speed. And that's where many people are willing to swap. Now, I think this is kind of like what we saw in the early days of cable cord cutting 1.0. People were like, hey, I'm willing to break free. Even if the experience isn't quite as good as the other one, I'm just sick of paying these very high fees. I think people are doing the same thing now for cable TV. We'll see how this plays out, but look for cord cutting 2.0 to be a major player in 2024. All right, local ABC, NBC, Fox, and CBS station owners are asking the FCC to reclassify cable TV companies into, or streaming services into cable TV companies. Now, basically what this would do was put services like Hulu Plus Live TV Sling and others under the umbrella of FCC regulations, under the 1992 law, and the updated versions thereafter, which includes the 2019 update that made some big changes. Now, they're doing this because two things. They want more money. Let's be honest. This would force companies like Hulu Plus Live TV, YouTube TV, and others to, instead of negotiate directly with Paramount for all CBS stations, have to go station by station and negotiate directly. That will allow stations to try to raise the amount of money they're getting, like they've been doing on cable TV companies. Many locals were very unhappy with the deal Fubo got, for example. It resulted for a while in early 2023, Fubo only carrying the national feed of CBS versus a local feed of CBS. I expect that trend to continue, that they're going to keep pushing for more and more money. The other thing here is that, they call themselves the Coalition to Save Local News. It would force or make it a lot harder for streaming services to not offer locals. It would put a lot of rules or regulations on this. That's the reason they're calling it the Coalition to Save Local News. The idea was to force streaming services to offer locals and ensure that they are continuing to offer in a day and age where cable viewership is declining. Keep an eye on this. This is an important story. The FCC has kind of said, well, I don't know if we can do this. But there's a lot of political pressure behind this. 20 plus Democrat senators have come out in support of it. There's a mixture of Republicans and Democrats in the House supporting it and Republicans and Democrats in the House opposing it. We'll see how this plays out. But both sides have drawn up a lot of political lines here in this push for this. We'll see how this plays out. Now, I don't want to get into political here, but what I mentioned that for a reason is that when that many senators, when you get 20 plus senators all coming out and saying, hey, this needs to happen, we get the House holding hearings on it, pushing for it to happen. There's a lot of political pressure on this. This is not something that's just going to go away. This is something that's going to probably be a slow process, something we'll talk a lot about in 2024, but will have a big impact on the future of cord cutting. Some people I've read have just been very dismissive of their efforts in this. So, well, they'll need to change the laws. Well, yeah, but they're already laying the groundwork to get these laws put into place so that they would be able to force streaming into cable TV. So pay attention to that. I think that's a big story there. All right. 30 plus cable TV channels could soon shut down. This comes from an analyst out there who took a look at Spectrum's deal, which resulted in Spectrum and Disney agreeing to a new contract, but several Disney-owned channels leaving. It is predicted that 30 plus cable TV channels could shut down as cable and streaming and satellite companies pare back the number of channels. We've already heard several companies come out and say, hey, a lot of these like MTV2, VH1-2, all these sub-channels that don't really offer a lot of original content or mostly just reruns, why are we paying for these when that content's sitting on Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, and other similar streaming services? Look for a growing number of channels to be dropped from cable companies and even streaming services like YouTube TV. It would not surprise me at all if a couple major streaming services cut back on the number of these smaller channels that they're paying for. How will that play out in the years to come? I don't know. But it is said that it wouldn't take too many cable services to drop some of these smaller channels for them to result in them just shutting down. Will that happen in 2024? Maybe not. But I'll be shocked, honestly, if some cable companies in 2024 didn't drop more channels. All right, Bally Sports, you're probably sick of me talking about, but it's a big change in the way we watch sports. Bally Sports' bankruptcy is far from over at the time I'm recording this, and it's having a huge impact on the way we watch it. We've seen quite a few sports teams move from regional sports networks on cable and satellite and streaming services to free over-the-air television. I suspect that trend will become more and more popular in 2024 as the Bally Sports NBA contract ends after this season, and it's reported the new MLB contract could do the same at the end of the 2024 MLB season. Look for Bally Sports' contract to have, or demise, if it does happen, have huge ripple effects across television, not just in sports, but in giving more power to local affiliates and changing how we watch television. Maybe we're going to see more sports instead of more reruns on free over-the-air television stations. But huge story, big impact. I think we don't even fully appreciate the long-term ramifications of Bally Sports going under. And lastly, ATSC 3.0, the new over-the-air TV standard, which offers a lot of cool things, but it also comes with DRM. couldn't talk about the biggest stories in cord cutting in 2023 without talking about all the DRM that's been hitting over-the-air television stations. With this, it means for many cord cutters, their TVs are no longer able to view those channels. The rollout of DRM support has been messy at best, and we've seen some lawsuits related to it that's forced LG, for example, for now, to stop making or including ATSC 3.0 tuners in their TVs. What's the long-term impact here? We'll have to wait and see. There's a big push to fight back against this DRM. A lot of DVR manufacturers like Tableau and Silicon Dust, who need to be able to decode that DRM to stream out to your home, says the DRM doesn't support that kind of streaming. We'll see what it plays out, but look for DRM and free over-the-air television to be a major story in 2024. I don't think we really fully appreciate what's happening here. For now, the FCC has extended the amount of time that TV stations need to continue to offer 1.0. But what would that mean for the future of 2.0 or 3.0? We'll see. I apologize with that. Keep an eye on 3.0. 2024, I think we're only beginning to see the ramifications of the DRM that's coming to it, and we'll have to watch that in 2024. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this special video for today. I'll be back again real soon. Until then, take care, be safe. Thanks for your support. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. I hope you all had a fantastic holidays, and I hope you all have a great 2024 as we get closer to that.